Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Kuura-Tea's Kuura-Cola. This is a ripe puerh tea sold by Kuura, an Australian tea vendor. As part of their shtick, they don't really disclose any of the information behind the sourcing of their tea. While this is a little concerning at first glance, they do make a very good argument for why they do this, as there's a lot of misinformation and hype around specific regions of tea, and keeping this a secret lets the person enjoying the tea more focus on the tea itself rather than the region it came from. However, I did try my hardest to find some of the information behind where this tea was sourced. From a little bit of sleuthing, I found that this tea is actually sourced from Menghai, which is located in Xishuangbanna. There is some information about the factory, but I couldn't find any matching specifics. This tea coming from Xishuangbanna makes sense, as most of their teas do seem to come from that area. This is the standard entry-level ripe puerh offered by Kuura, along with the psychotropical raw puerh and the electro flower candy white tea. But focusing on Kuura-Cola, the first thing you notice is the packaging. A lot of the more trendy puerh companies these days have really good marketing design, and Kuura is no exception. This tea's wrapper has a really cool design that stands out in any collection. Unwrapping the main wrapper, you get a second white wrapper, and then under that you get the tea itself. This cake seems to be pretty standard, with a looser compression and larger grade leaves. Other than that, this is your standard true puerh. So let's break some off and brew it up. As an additional note, I'm using the 5:150 brewing ratio with 99°C water. When tasting this, I used the Gaiwan, but in the clips you see I'm using a different brewing vessel. The smell of the leaf is really dark and creamy, with notes of vanilla and a little bit of camphor. There's a little bit of funk, but it's pretty subdued. When wet, that funk comes forward a little bit and the camphor fades. This is a fairly pleasing aroma, clean and simple. The color of the brew isn't as dark and inky as some puerh teas, but it is pretty dark though. For comparison, here's the first infusion of the Kuura-Cola, and another puerh, this one being a Jinglong Factory Grade 1. You can see the Kuura-Cola is a bit lighter in color. Its aroma is fairly tame, with subdued notes of earth, cream, and vanilla. Nothing in the aroma is particularly pronounced. However, I don't think I consider this to be an entirely negative thing, as I associate those stronger aromas with more fishy puerhs. However, that might be my own lack of experience with a lot of shu puerh. Overall, while it's relatively subtle, the aroma is very pleasant. The taste of this tea is one of my favorites. It's a straightforward, no-nonsense shu puerh. A little earthiness and a lot of cream are the first things to hit the palate, along with what I'd consider a more medium viscosity. It's not super thick like some similar teas, but it's by no means thin. After this, there are some notes of dark chocolate and warm spices, specifically clove and allspice. There's a little bit of camphor spice and funk to this, and a little greenery finishes off the flavor profile, specifically fresh celery. Over the infusions, it gains some complexity, with all of these notes coming in clearer over each infusion. The vanilla and cream become a caramel note that hits stronger and stronger with each infusion. Speaking of infusions, this tea just keeps going. This tea lasts a good while, running for around 9 infusions. Looking at the color of the brew alone, while the first infusion wasn't as dark as that Jinglong puerh I used before, at around 5 infusions, it's maintaining that same darkness, while the Jinglong puerh is becoming more and more clear. There's a lot of longevity to this tea, maintaining a similar, yet still evolving profile. The only real downside here is that it's still a very subtle flavor. While the flavor, mouthfeel, and aroma are all very enduring, it is still very subtle the entire time. This trade-off could still be seen as a fair bit of give and take, as it is a very interesting tea. I just wish the flavors were a bit more pronounced. Overall, I'm a very big fan of this tea. It's a great entry-level ripe puerh with a good level of complexity and interesting notes at a great price. While it isn't the most viscous or darkest tea, it has more than enough longevity to counteract that. For the price, it's a good purchase that acts as an excellent daily drinker. While it's not perfect, it does more than enough right to be considered a good purchase. I think that, at the end of the day, I would give this tea a 7 out of 10. It's a great value and a good purchase, but it isn't perfect. Alright, that's all for this time. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, and if you like this channel, please be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell to see more content when it comes out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.